What's up, everybody? Today I just want to talk to you guys. Today's been really hard. It's sad really, because today was my first day back at college and I really enjoyed myself. Seeing all my friends again, getting ready to start new year, knowing what we're going to be learning this year and how it's going to be applicable to our futures. Today's been hard because today is the end of a chapter. A long and trying chapter, but we've finally come to the end. And it's difficult. So many times I think I've come to the end of this chapter. I've put it behind me that it won't come back. I can pray this time that it won't, but I think part of me's accepted that I might keep running around in circles. But at least I'm in a new chapter myself in how I will respond to it. I'm gonna try and keep this as brief as possible, in a sense. And this is a difficult story, a very personal one, and I'm not ready to tell the whole world what happened. But I want to tell people about some part of it at least. The truth is, ever since I was really little, I had this friend. A friend who had a few behavioural issues. Someone who needed a lot of attention. Someone to always be there for them. A friend. And I wanted to be that friend. I was there for them as much as I could be. But as we got older, things got more difficult. The truth is that as we got older, it got worse and he changed. Some things happened that were more extreme and really changed the situation. To know if it would have been any different if it hadn't happened, it's hard to say. Part of me wants to believe that it would have been, but I almost know that it wouldn't. This friend of mine, he became more bold, he became violent and aggressive. And being the closest one to him, a lot of that was directed my way. I'll leave it up to you to decide in what way that was. I mean, I know, but it's just not a part I want to share. But as it got worse and worse, in my mind, being so young, I was told to be there for him, to be his friend, to be a person that he could rely on, to keep him out of trouble. And when things got worse, I didn't know what to do. So I didn't tell anybody how bad it was getting, because in a way it felt like I'd be betraying him, that I wasn't doing my job properly, that I shouldn't be letting this happen. I should find a way to stop it, to help him. I know now that I needed a lot more help, that I put too much weight on my own shoulders. How can someone so little be expected to care for another person? It just wasn't as possible as I wanted to believe it to be. When we turned 8, when we were about 8 years old, both of us, that's when it got to its worst. He became more and more violent and possessive. I wasn't allowed to have friends that he didn't like. If he didn't like a person that I was friends with, I couldn't be friends with them anymore. Somebody who is still a friend of mine now, thankfully, he did get a lot of the brunt of it. We were friends, and them two really did not get along. And it was difficult. I would try to reason with this person, and not being in the right position to do so, I would ask him to just lay off, to just back away and leave him be, that it was making things harder. Because it did make things harder, but this person was standing his ground because he wanted to be my friend. And not only that, he wasn't exactly a pushover. But we lost touch for a long time because I wasn't coping and I wasn't able to find the right balance between looking out for myself and looking out for this friend. I always put him first. I felt it was my job, that he was my responsibility. As we got older and older, I made more and more excuses. I tried harder, I tried so hard to be there for him. I'd have done anything for him. I'd have given my life for him. Not a question asked. And it's sad to say that now, knowing what's happened. That's a story I just can't tell. It's not something I want known. Not yet. But today, after a long time of not speaking, after a long time of trying to put that behind me and look after myself and put myself first, he came back wanting to sort things, wanting to try and make amends. It's not something he can make amends for. Part of me wishes that it could be. I miss and in some ways still grieve the little boy that I knew, who was still, even though he had his problems, sweet and kind, a lot of fun, adventurous. All the things we did, the places we would go. I do miss it. But I have to accept the fact that he's not that person anymore. And I'm not the same person that I was then. Too much has happened for either of us to go back there. For either of us to have the relationship that we had then. He was family. And it's not easy for me to say that I have to walk away. It's not easy for me to put myself first. But this has to be the end of it. for both of our sakes. It's difficult. It's not easy to walk away from a person, to put that behind you. All the memories, the bond that we shared. It's hard for me to accept that I just can't trust this person anymore. And that I can't have that kind of person in my life. No matter how much I want them to be. He'll never be the person I grew up with. And it's hard. It's hard knowing that even though I've made this my end, I'm not gonna entertain it anymore. I can't keep holding on to hope that maybe things will change. That maybe one day things could go back to the way they were. I'm done. All it's doing is hurting both of us. But it makes it more difficult knowing that he won't stop. No matter how many times I tell him to just leave it, that I've made up my mind I don't want him in my life anymore. He won't stop. It's the person that he is. He'll come back and beg and grovel. But I'm done. No more messaging him back to just simply say, go away. No more entertaining the possibility of him coming to say his piece. Because he said all the same stuff before. And again, let this happen. Because it's a habit. And it's what I'm used to. Being the person who gives that one last chance. But it's never the last chance. Never really has been. But it has to be. That's why I'm glad to have the people around me that I do have. My brothers, my sister, my mum, my dad, my partner, and my friends. I'm lucky to have them all because they keep me strong. And I wouldn't be able to do this without them. I wouldn't be able to keep going without them. Not exactly an upbeat video, not the typical thing that usually goes on the channel, but it's something that I needed to say. I've been battling this person for so long. He was a part of my identity. I was his friend. I was the one who looked after him. It was a part of who I was. And to lose that, to have to learn to become my own person without him, to have my own definition, has been very difficult. And I'm starting to find my own way. I'm starting to find my own being, my own way of life without this extra package. We'll just see how it goes. But thank you all for watching, and I promise the next video will be a bit more upbeat. Until next time, bye.